Thanks for joining me in notation lesson number 4B, Treble Clef exercises, where we're going to take what we learned in lesson 4 and do a few short and simple exercises to help start you off with your Treble Clef practice. Let's start by naming some notes. Let's try the two different methods we learned in lesson 4 to name the first note. Remember that we have a treble clef here, also known as the G clef, because it curls around this line, which is a G. So we'll count up from G using our note circle. And we'll recall that the note after G is A. So the next space is A. After A is B, alphabetically. And then after B is C. So this note must be a C. We'll try the other method, which was a shortcut, which said that all the spaces in the treble clef spell face. So if we use that method, this first space must be F, the second space an A, and the third space a C. So we got the same answer again, so it must be right. This note is a C. Now let's look at the next note, and since it's a space note, let's use our quick face method, and since this is an F, sorry my thing's not working, there we go, and then this must be an A. The next note is a little bit trickier because it's on a ledger line, but we can do it. And this time, let's use the shortcut method. And if you recall, the lines had a mnemonic, and it was every, E for every, G for good, B for boy, D for deserves, and F for fudge. So this top line must be an F. So from here, we will use the note circle method and just go up in sequence. After F comes G, so this space is a G. After G, we go back to an A, so this line here is an A. And after A, of course, is B. So this note up here must be a B. The next note is on a line, so let's use every good boy deserves fudge. So since it's the third line, it's every good boy, and that's another B. Now the next note is another tricky note. It's two ledger lines below the staff, and we'll start with the lowest note that we can quickly identify, which is the first line, every, which is an E, and we'll go backwards on the note circle. So what comes before E? D. For this space here, and the next line will be a C, and the next space will be a B, and the next line will be an A. So this is the note A. The next note is on the second line, and hopefully we've memorized that by now because it's the G from the G clef. And the last note is on the fourth space, and if we use face to figure that note out, it will be F, A, C, E. Now let's do the opposite, and we'll write some notes, starting with the note F. So for each one of these notes, actually, there might be more than one possibility, so we'll do them both, just for good practice. So let's look at the F. So we know one of the F's is the F from face, which is the first space. And another F we know is the top line from every good boy deserves fudge. So there's two possibilities. And the next note we want to write is an A, and one of the possibilities is the A from face, which is the second space. And another one is the first letter line above the staff. So if we remember that this is also an F from the previous question here, see, F, we can count up. F, after F comes G, and that's a space, and then the next line would be an A. So we need to draw a ledger line and put the note through the line for another A. There's also one more A that we could write, and I'll just move this A down a bit so to make room. And let's count down from the first line here, which we know is an E. So this is E. The first space is going to be back from E, which is a D. Then the first ledger line is going to be a C. And the space underneath the ledger line will be a B. And finally, the second ledger line down will be an A. So let's draw two ledger lines. And draw the note right in the middle of the ledger line. And there's our low A. Next note is a C. Let's use face and F-A-C. The third space is a C. Any other C's? Yes, we know this one over here is an A. So if we go up one space, we get a B, and if we go up to the next line, we get a C. So there's another possibility. Two ledger lines above, that's a C. And finally, if we look down here, we know that this line is an E, and if we go down a space, we've got a D, and we go down to the first ledger line, we get a C. So let's move the C over so that we have some space here. One ledger line below the staff. Great. Next note is an E. We know there's an E down here for every, and we know there's an E up here from face. F-A-C-E, space. And finally, the last one, a D. We know that there is a D here from every good boy deserves. So let's put a D there, going through the line. And we also know that there's a D down here from every backwards one is a D. And let's do one more. If we know that this is a C, then of course the next space, two ledger lines above the staff, is also a D. So that's a lot of notes. So you want to remember that you have two strategies for figuring out what the notes are. The first one being memorizing that the second line is a G for the treble clef, and then going up sequentially. Remembering that the A comes after G, so then this is an A, and then you just go alphabetically B, C, D, etc., etc. And remembering if you're going backwards, you have to go backwards in the alphabet. So before G comes an F, then an E, and then a D, etc., etc. And then you've got the quick method, which is to memorize the lines as every good boy deserves fudge, and the spaces as face. F-A-C-E. I hope those exercises were helpful to you. And if you have the worksheets, you've got plenty to practice. And when you're ready, you can go on to the next lesson, notation lesson number 5, the bass clef. Thanks very much.